Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna. For those of you who are new here, hi, welcome to my channel. Come join the fun and hit that subscribe button. No, but really, if you do hit that subscribe button and support me, thank you so much. It means so much to me. I've just always enjoyed reviewing makeup. I remember I honestly started this because back in the day, now if you are young, you will not know what I'm talking about, but back in the day, you'd go to the drugstore, you'd buy something, and it'd basically end up in the trash because it was nothing like the picture, because Instagram was just starting to exist. Swatches didn't exist. You didn't know what you were getting yourself into. And that, my friends, is why I review things for you. So we don't buy things and it ends up in the trash. Today I'm testing out a brand new brand. Well, it's not brand new. It's a brand that I've never tried. It's new to me and it's called Beauty Bay. So Beauty Bay actually is a retail company, I believe. I don't know if they start off as a makeup company or just selling other makeup items. I'm just not very familiar with Beauty Bay in general. This is my first purchase ever from Beauty Bay and I am so excited. I've wanted to try it ever since they released their last $15 palette, which I'm still very interested in getting. Please excuse the sniffles and the cough. My son tested positive for COVID and we're pretty sure that we have it too. Our test came back negative, but our doctor says that we basically probably have it because he does too, and we've been experiencing symptoms for like over a week now and it's been no fun at all. Declan's doing pretty well, thank goodness. I think we're doing way worse than he is. But I bought this palette. It's their newest one called New Romantic. And this is only $15 and that's what blows my mind. And I bought this instead of the ColourPop Valentine's Day collection. The packaging is really cute. It's honestly a lot bigger and thicker than I thought. The outer packaging is really pretty. I have it in my background right now, but it does have like this sort of like painted romantical look. Definitely super Valentine-y to me. I really like it. I love the pinks. It just mimics kind of the shades that you'll find inside this palette. And then the actual palette packaging I do think is pretty as well. I do think I prefer the outer packaging more so, but I think it's kind of cool how it does translate onto this one in the wording on this palette. The only reason why I kind of am not a huge fan of the light pink is only because I know it will get more dirty. The inside of it, oh my goodness, it has a nice large mirror, which to me is a big deal. I enjoy being able to use a mirror from a palette that I'm reviewing, and these colors are gorgeous. It kind of gives me Huda Beauty Rose Gold vibes, but it also kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the shades from the ColourPop Valentine's Day collection, but it also reminded me of another palette, but I can't put my finger on it right now. But I love the variety that you get, and for $15, I feel like this is just such a good deal with how many looks you can create. You have such a variety from light pinks to really dark pink. These metallics are truly metallic, and to me, it was much more worth my money to buy this palette for $15 as opposed to one of those ColourPop palettes for $10 for 5 shadows. This one does have 20 shadows in it and I just cannot wait to play with it. Let's get into testing this out. I was pretty impressed with the swatches. I'll show you swatches right now. I think they all swatched pretty good. There were maybe 2 or 3 mattes that kind of was a struggle. One that really surprised me too is this shade called Lingerie. It is so, well, now that I'm feeling it, I don't know, it's just so light and I just had a hard time. It's like just a very sheer light shade. So that one I was surprised how hard it was to kind of build up. Another one that was a little bit difficult was Embers because, again, just building it up. And Saddle was a little bit more patchy. One that also was kind of more patchy but was still pigmented was Claret, and I think it's just because it's like this vibrant deep red shade. But everything else was very smooth. The metallics were intense, were like butter, and I think for $15, like 20 shades for $15, that's a really good deal. So very impressed by the swatches when I was swatching it. Let's get into it. I don't know really what I want to do because I just know this purple to me is like amazing looking, but so is this red called Queen. I just don't know what I want to do. There's so many beautiful looks you could do. I'm almost tempted to use the shades that I had a hard time with just to see how they perform on the eye. Ugh, I don't know. Is this something you guys would want to see a 2 looks 1 palette with? Let me know. For now, we're just going to do one because I don't think my nose can handle 2. We are going to start off by priming our eyes using the Soft Base Primer. I buy this from Shop Miss A for $1.88. $1.88, isn't that insane? That's just so cheap. Usually I use my finger to apply it, but today I think we are going to use, oh, I just like stuck that into my eyelashes. I think we're gonna try using a brush first. Okay, I guess I'm just trying to make my lashes disappear. So today I was coughing up blood, and I know you guys are gonna be like, what? Why are you even filming? Okay, so the last video I posted was my ColourPop Animal Crossing video, and I filmed that one a couple of days ago, and I think I'm feeling better today than I was in that last video. I feel like normal sick today. This has honestly been the worst sick I've ever been. The worst sick slash with my worst case of bronchitis. That is how it's been. And so I was coughing up blood, and we called the doctors, and the doctor said, you probably should go to the ER. I said, even if it's not a lot. And they're like, yes, that's concerning. So I was like, darn it. I hate going to the ER because does anybody like going to the ER? I mean, really, like, it's not a fun place. We chose to go to the one that it's like connected to our primary care doctor's office because we know it's a smaller town. It's a little bit further away from my house, but we figured it'd probably be less of a wait, and we were correct. When I went in there, he was like, so how much blood are we talking about? I was like, really not that much. And he's like, okay. And he's like, I'm concerned if you have like teaspoons full. And I was like, I don't have teaspoonfuls. And I showed him like a picture because I was coughing into a tissue, and I only took that picture to like show my husband. Anyways, going into vanilla. And yeah, he's like, I don't think that's anything to be concerned about. He's like, if it's just straight up blood, then yes, be concerned. And then he swabbed me. So my husband and I have been tested for COVID twice. One of the places they test you where they have to, I feel like this just matches my primer. So it's not like, you know, it's just a very light bone shade shadow. It is building up. So at the place we normally test at, they make you do it yourself, and they kind of just say, okay, swirl it around like a few times. And sometimes I'm like, did I do that right? And so I told the doctor that, and he was kind of like, yeah. He was like, that's kind of like a joke. So he's like, I can either do a rapid test on you, and he's like, but I don't really believe in those, and it probably won't even really work, so we might as well just do the regular testing. I was like, okay, like, no problem. I've had a test like 500 times lately. He grabs the thing, and he did the one all the way like up here. Normally, like when I get it done, they only do like down here. No, he went all the way up, and oh my gosh, I've heard that that's like how they're supposed to do it, or like how some of them go. I was like I was just not expecting it. I don't know why. And he was like, yeah, it's okay, it's okay. And I was like, oh my god. Right, we're gonna go ahead and go into birthday. So they ended up taking an x-ray of my lungs anyways, and he said that that looks fine. This is pretty pigmented for a pastel pink. So I don't know. He basically said at this point, just assume we have COVID. He said tests come back negative all the time, even though they're positive. And he said it just happens all the time. He was like, I was like, that's fine, but what do I tell my work? Like, this is like confusing. Like, what are you supposed to do about work? And like, I have a negative, but I can't come to work. I don't know. It's just been a really weird situation. I'm really impressed with this light pink because it's still pretty pigmented, very buildable. It's super pretty. And then I saw that this showed up on my doorstep, and I was really excited. I'm gonna put some of that under the eye. But he said my lungs look good, which is really good. I actually was worried because I always get these like really sharp pains in my chest. Not like a huge like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe, but like it'll be a sharp pain in a small area, like a small pinching sharp pain. And I'm like, what is that? The last time the doctor said it could be like tendonitis in my ribs or something in between the rib cages. So I don't really know if that's what it is, but it could be. So I'm kind of just glad, kind of worried about my lungs, you know, before even this. So I feel better now about everything. I feel better about my whole life now. We're gonna go ahead and go into, let's do the hot pink. Why not? I don't see any like eye warnings on here. Maybe I missed it. We're gonna go into Milkshake, which is hot pink. Like, I expect this to stain my eyes. Like a disclaimer, so I don't know. I don't know if like companies always have to do that. Sickness has been so weird because it's like you think you're gonna feel better the next day, but sometimes you feel worse. It's like you go from kind of feeling better to worse to kind of feeling better to worse. It's just like it doesn't end. But be safe. Since I have COVID, whenever I have to like go to the doctor's office or something, I double mask. Because I don't know if you guys all saw, but they say that double masking now like can protect you like doubly, basically. Obviously, double mask, double protection. So far everything's really intensely pigmented. I'm gonna give my brushes a good washing after all this. I still haven't had time to wash my brushes, but I will after this. Okay, next we're gonna use Claret. This is the one that was a little bit patchy. Think of like ColourPop's brightly colored, bright, deep, like colorful deep shades, I guess I should say. That's kind of how it was. Like ColourPops do that to me too, so it wasn't that surprising. I'm just trying to point out as much as I possibly can, but on the eye, you know, boom boom, there it is. It's good. I don't see any patchiness. I don't see any patchiness. So excited to see what this turns out like. I have no idea what I'm doing still, but that's a really pretty shade. Okay, next we're gonna take that under the eye. That's a really pretty shade. This is called Tacky Base from Shop Miss A. This is a glitter glue primer, and it again is $1.88, so that makes my heart happy. I like affordable products. It is a little bit more goopier than the NYX glitter glue, so if you do use it, be careful. Further there. Oops, I didn't mean to really go in my inner corner. First we're gonna go into Valentine, which is this deep dark purple. Oh my gosh, these purples swatch all the, what am I saying, all of these shadows. The metallic swatched amazingly, like really good. Like, I just love how this looks kind of like a grungier purple. I'm having a little bit of fallout. And then we're going to take the bright purple called Royal. So I hope you guys are staying nice and healthy. Healthier than my family is. I really think Declan got it from the doctor's office. Oh, that's pretty. I think Declan got it from the doctor's office. And I partially think that because he had a well checkup, like a well child appointment for his 3-year appointment, like a little bit before he started showing symptoms. Not a little bit, but enough time in between the two that you could obviously get sick. And it just was weird timing. And also, we don't really go anywhere. We don't really do anything. Also, while he was experiencing COVID symptoms, all of a sudden it was so hard to get a hold of anybody in at his doctor's appointment. I was on hold, and then the phones would hang up on me, and then it would say that their like waiting line was so bad at that moment that like I would just have to call back because they couldn't even put me on hold. Like, that's how many people there were, or at least maybe that's how many nurses they were down, and there were maybe a bunch out of the office. I don't really know, but it was a little bit weird for the timing. So hopefully other kids are okay. I think we're gonna take Chintz, which is this icy purple. and put it on the inner corner. This is really, really pretty. This, I think, makes me way happier than having bought the ColourPop collection. No offense to ColourPop, I love ColourPop, but this I think is more up my alley because I can do more with it. It's so soft too. I wish I could be like, come here, let me have you touch this, because it's like pressing down almost like a super shock. That's why I'm using my finger. This brush is having a hard time picking it up. I think we're gonna take some of Saddle. That's the shade I had a hard time with. I kind of want to see how deep it is, or can be. Okay, so on the eye, she's fine. She's fine. I'm gonna blend it out with a different brush. I am loving these colors. Okay, so far I've done pretty good not coughing my lungs up during this video, so that's a good sign. I think he said I can go back to work on the 22nd, so that's when I'll be back at work. It's just so strange, like these COVID times, like you can't just be like, oh, I'm feeling better, time to go back to work. It's not how it works. I do want to clean up what's under the eye and put on some lashes. So this palette actually gave me kind of vibes of one of my favorite palettes from Give Me Glow, and it is called the Vivid Rose palette. This palette is it $40? I'd have to check, but it is more pricey, but Give Me Glow pans are huge and they're really good quality. I do have a review on this one, but I feel like they're not exact at all. Like there's definitely different tones going on in here, and there's some from this that I wish was in this, but there's just a few similar shades. I think it's just really the bright pinks, because there's so many bright pinks, and the Give Me Glow ones are also easier to build up faster, I feel like. Again, this is not going to be identical. I already know that. So on this side's Give Me Glow, and on this side is from Beauty Bay. Like I said, not dupes, just there's a lot of kind of similar color story going on with the bright pinks and these really pretty purples. I feel like if you've been wanting the Give Me Glow Vivid Rose, but you know you're never ever going to spend the money on it, then this would be a good alternative. Like I said, not identical at all, and I really do love the Give Me Glow formula. I feel like if you still are interested in it and think you might potentially purchase it, then I wouldn't buy this specifically to try and kind of mimic that. Again, not identical, but it just gave me the same type of vibes. And the Give Me Glow, as you can see, you do one swatch and it's like pigmented as can be. One of my favorite indie makeup brands. But for $15, my friends, this is amazing. I didn't really have any trouble with any of the shades, how they performed. They all performed really well on the eye. Swatching, of course, was a different story, but swatches don't always tell the whole story. So you don't necessarily need it, but I feel like if you're someone who knows you'll use this color story, I definitely recommend it. I also ended up using Smoothie as a blush. It looks like it cracked a little bit because by the time I put concealer back under my eye, I kind of lost whatever color I had there. But I think it's pretty because you can do a really bright intense pink, or you can even do a more neutral-ish look because there are some nudes in here. I did notice that it does look like my smoothie is starting to crack, which is this matte shade. So some of them are dry, but I feel like the formula you might have to build up a little more, but you can build it up, and that's what's important. I feel like everything blended really nicely. Let me know, do you guys want to see a 2 looks 1 palette with this? I'd be more than happy to. First, I am going to do the Club Nebula 2 looks 1 palette as soon as I can, because this will relaunch on February 17th. I do have a first impressions if you're interested in this palette. So let me know, are there any other Beauty Bay palettes that you live by? Because I need to know now. Alright, thank you so much, and you guys have a great day, and stay healthy and wear your masks. Bye.